So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our practice together on this bright, sunny, clear, crisp March morning. I'd like you to get comfortable, and I'd like to share something from this book that I've been using a lot lately. It just has beautiful translations of the ancient Radiance Sutras. And just as we settle in, just as a reminder, because most of you have heard me say this before and heard John say it before, that yoga is a meditation on the body, and we go inward and we really do explore. We explore the physical body, we explore our energetic body, we explore our emotions, and we just get to know ourselves on deeper and deeper levels. And that's also true for meditation, that when you come to your meditation posture and you take time to just be with yourself, you begin to notice what's showing up, thoughts, emotions, the feeling of breathing. And this all coalesces to bring ourselves to places maybe we have not visited before, or even maybe in my own case on my yoga and meditation journey, I've been brought to places I didn't even ever travel to inwardly before. And John and I both love this passage from the Radiant Sutras that we wanted to share with you this morning. So please get comfortable. Find a place that feels balanced in your body and brings ease to you. Let your eyelids close when you're ready. Notice your breathing. And relax the muscles on your face. Just relax the muscles, all of them. Eyes, mouth, cheeks, throat. And imagine that you're able to relax your inner ears. This is a passage from the Insight Verses. The Insight Verses. Consider all the pain and all the pleasure you have ever experienced as waves on a very deep ocean, which you are. From the depths, witness those waves, rolling along so bravely, always changing, beautiful in their self-sustaining power. Marvel that once you identified only with the surface of this ocean. Now, embrace waves, depths, undersea mountains, out to the farthest shore. Keeping your eyes closed. Imagine your awareness as a smooth, warm, round stone, and drop it right down into your body and let it rest like a stone resting at the bottom of a pond. Let your awareness rest right there. And notice the stillness. And still a warm, smooth stone. And as you rest there with stillness, Let your awareness rise so that from your place of stillness at the very bottom, you can look up at the surface of the pond and notice how smooth it is. And then take a moment to look around, noticing what's to your left and your right, and up and down, aware of it all, and so still. Take a couple of breaths being here with awareness and stillness. And then with your next inhale, bring your hands palm to palm in Anjali Mudra in front of your lifted heart. Root down with your awareness. Rise up. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. And take a moment to set your intention for your practice this morning. What is it you would like to shine the light of your awareness on? Acknowledge it to yourself and repeat it to yourself. And then just like that smooth, still stone of awareness, let it rest in your heart for our practice together. And then when you're ready, open your eyes, bring your hands down, roll your shoulders a couple of times, just noticing how that feels. And then place your right hand down beside your right hip. Turn your left palm extended open and simply stretch overhead. See if you can bring your arm bone back a little bit and press that left hip down a little bit. Then turn your gaze like that awareness lifting to the surface of the water. Just turn your gaze up. And take the left hand down and bring it next to your hip. Palm is open and relaxed, fingers are spread. Extend your right arm, palm open to the sky. And now bring the right arm overhead. Press down a little bit with the right hip as you extend over to the left. And feel free to bend the left elbow as much as needed. And perhaps turn your gaze up towards the surface. And release. From here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. So simply move your props where you'd like to have them for our practice together. And then open, keeping the palms open and the fingers spread nice and wide. Come into your plank pose and get long here. And then when you feel like the setup is just right for the proportions of your body, lift your hips. Downward facing dog, slide your heels down. Begin pedaling with your knees and ankles, maybe pulling the belly button up, maybe shifting the hips a little bit side to side. Get long in the side body. Let the spine uncoil, letting the head just gently rest with stillness. Another breath or two here, moving and loosening. And then when you've had a time for just this simple movement of the big joints, I'd like you to take your feet to the edges of your mat. So you're still in down dog, but now it's a bit wide-legged. And walk your hands back towards your feet into a nice deep forward fold. Let the crown of your head drop towards your mat. Take opposite elbows and just get really heavy with the upper body. So the arm bones, the skull, the shoulders are all feeling their weight and letting gravity just gently tug. Feel free to bend knees a little bit if that helps with your hamstrings. If you'd like to add a little twisting in, go right ahead. You don't have to, but that might feel good to you. Just notice with your awareness deep within your body, just notice what's feeling good to you this morning. And then hands to hips. Come on up to standing. Stay with the somewhat wide-legged approach here. Make sure your toes are pointed exactly forward as your feet are at the edges of your mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, deep dive. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing yourself up. Exhale to your heart center. Inhale, we lift up together. And exhale, we dive deep together. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up. And exhale, heart center. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we dive deep together. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, deep bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Now, once more, yogis, open up the soles of the feet here and lift your arms. So while you're here in Urdhva Hastasana, lift and spread the toes wide apart from each other. Lift up the inner arches of your feet. And then set the toes down and stretch your fingertips up towards your ceiling. And just like those beautiful words from the insight verse, we sometimes have these connections that seem murky to us, like lifting the arches of the feet. But over time, we get that inner knowing. We can see that mountain beneath the surface of the sea. We can see the rocks down at the bottom. So rooting down, rise up. Just notice how this feels in your body. And then take your hands behind you to interlace. Stretch your arms back nice and long. Root down through the soles of the feet. Lift and open the heart, lifting the lungs and the rib cage. And keeping your throat relaxed and open, begin to roll some of the weight of your skull back. If you haven't started engaging the muscles of your legs yet, try doing that now. And release. From here, take your feet back to being underneath your hips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crab walk down your mat, coming back into your plank pose. Inhale and plank with your knees up or down, and exhale to lower. Inhale, sweep up, roll the shoulders away from your ears, press your 10 fingertips into your mat, pull back isometrically, feeling that heart energy surge. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then come on up onto all fours and take your time working your way back into child's pose. So knees wide, big toes touch. Take your arms out in front of you, bow your head. Now perch up on all 10 fingertips, slide your armpits out to the sides. And imagine your heart in a little hammock and let the hammock drop a little more close to the earth. And come on up. If you use a blanket to pad for knees, this is a good time to do that. Take your blanket across your mat and then walk yourself out into plank pose so that the blanket is at your knees. Get nice and long here. And then simply set the knees down. And what we're going to do here is inhale the heart up between the arms with toes tucked under, and exhale the hips back towards the heels. So inhale, bring the heart forward on your inhale. Exhale, shift the hips back towards the heels. Close your eyes as you go here, yogi, so that you can see more clearly what's happening inwardly. Inhale, you're drawing forward, and exhale, you're pressing back. Following the rhythm and the pace of your breathing. Noticing your inner landscapes, the depths, the surface, the waves, the rocks. From shore to shore, letting the waves glide. Just like ocean waves with wind, you're moving the energetic waves of your body with your breathing. I'd like you to take one more round here, and then finishing up in a deeper child's on your exhale, and we'll come back to stillness. Take a cleansing breath here, yogis. And then gently come on up. And we're going to do some lunging, so if you like to pad for lunges, go right ahead, keeping your blanket there. We're going to walk out into plank and lift up into down dog. Your blanket can be right there beneath you if you like to have it there for lunges. Now drop your right heel, lift your left leg high, bend your knee, flex your ankle, pivot your left knee towards your ceiling as you drop your right heel towards your mat. Strong, straight arms here. And then we're going to switch sides. So right leg reaches high, bend your knee, flex your ankle, point your right knee up at your ceiling as you drop your left heel towards your mat. And take a nice deep breath. And then gently let the right leg come down and set your knees down. And we're going to take our left leg forward. So step the left foot forward. Inhale up, exhale, swan dive down, and pick up your back knee, stretch it long. This is one of my favorite postures to do early in the practice. I feel like we get some of the big muscle groups lengthening. Put your right palm down, then spin your heart open towards the side of your room. Try to keep your forehead a bit above your chin and rotate. Think about the lungs and the heart rotating. Breathe deeply. Stretch that back heel back with a straight leg. And then bring this left hand inside your foot. So both hands are inside this bent left knee. And swing your left hand behind your heel. Bring it to the outside edge of your left foot. And then just stretch your collarbones forward and your right heel back, getting nice and long. If you notice that you're hanging your head, lift your gaze and look at something straight out in front of you. And then you're going to set the back knee down and walk on in. We're going to switch legs. So left knee comes in, right foot steps out. Inhale, we lift together. Exhale, we dive deep. together. Pick up your back knee and stretch nice and long, letting the big muscles that work so hard for us all day long. Give them a nice gentle stretch. Left hand down, right arm swings open. And then we begin the process of diving deep into the posture because we're moving the architecture of our body. We're stretching and opening the muscle fibers, and we can feel the energy shifting around the body, the hard energy, the prana shakti. Lift, lengthen, and open. And then with the next exhale, bring this right hand inside your foot. Bring the fingertips behind your heel. You're kind of weaving like a garland around the arm, around the leg. And then stretch back with your left heel and bring your collarbones forward. Lift your gaze to get really long. Breathe deeply, filling completely in the lungs, exhaling completely. And then set the back knee down and walk on in. We're going to do a quick camel pose before we go to our next lunge. So again, good time to leave your blanket on your mat if you'd like to. Roll the shoulders back, slide your hands into your back pockets, and then bring your shoulder blades and your elbows toward each other. Pull the abdominal wall in. So in camel, it's a bit counterintuitive because you might be thinking that you're just from the hips going to reach back. But actually, this very energetic, joyful pose is about bringing the energy up towards the heart. So with that in mind, hands go into your back pockets, elbows towards each other. All the muscles in the legs and in the abdomen are engaged, and the glutes are engaged here. And then let the heart energy lift. You might feel like it's a fountain of heart energy. And then we really dive deep into feeling by letting the head roll back. So the head is going offline here, and the heart energy can really be accentuated. You're really holding the body in place with the muscles here, experiencing your own heart energy. And then on your next inhale, bring yourself up and sit back on your heels. I know that for some of us, it's a little difficult to stretch the tendons and ligaments on the soles of the feet so much, but if you do it even for a couple breaths each day, it gets easier and easier. You're really creating suppleness in the feet. And then come on up. Now you're gonna lay the top of your right foot down and bring your left foot forward for Anjaneyasana. From here, lift your arms and exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, tap your palms to touch. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, bend your elbows. See if it feels okay to put your thumbs behind your skull. And keep it there if that's okay, or come back to straight arms if that's better. With your next exhale, slowly and completely exhale as you draw your hips toward your front heel, exploring what feels like too much or too little, and going right to the place of balance. So you're balancing effort and ease. Lift the tips of your elbows, keep your gaze lifted, and then release. Go nice and slow here, yogis. Go nice and slow, like a slow wave rolling onto the beach. Let the body receive the wave of energy. Now, the top of the left foot is going to go down on the mat. Right foot steps forward. When we do Anjaneyasana, it's a good time to take a good big step or stride forward. Here we go. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, tap the palms. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, bend the elbows. Test drive this. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fully and slowly, dropping the hips toward the front heel. Exploring the depths together. What's happening in the body? Take a nice deep breath. And come on out. And step back with your knee. We're going to do a puppy pose together. So keeping your, and then we're going to move into another camel. So keeping your padding, if you're using it, hips anchored over the knees, toes tucked under. Walk your heart out towards your mat. Spreading your arms nice and wide, eventually laying your forehead down. Take a couple of deep breaths here. See if you can really fill the lungs to full capacity and maybe just pause when you're completely full. And then a complete exhale. And walk on in. One more camel. Now you could do exactly like we did, or if you prefer, you can go a little deeper, either by using your bricks at your outer ankle, or by taking your hands to your heels. You're gonna firm up the leg muscles, pull your abdomen in. This is all about the lift of the heart. Lift the heart, the fountain of heart energy spilling out into your room. Let the head and the mind just go offline, breathing, supporting yourself with the strength of your muscles. On an inhale, come up with symmetry. And then you're going to walk yourself out into down dog, maybe taking a moment to move your blanket off your mat. Stretch nice and long and come into downward facing dog. And again, feel free to add movement. This is your yoga practice and it serves you, nothing else. Do what feels good and right to you. Now, once you've had a couple of breaths, you're kind of moving, seeing what's showing up for you this morning. Step in enough that your feet are very solid on your mat. So you're in a shortened down dog. And you may want to bring your hands a little closer to the midline of your mat. Keeping your right hand down, bring your left hand to your outer left ankle or shin. Make your left hip move back ever so slightly and look, pardon me, your right hip, did I say right? I hope I said right. Right hip back and look under your right armpit. Look up at your ceiling. See if you can see the ceiling under your right armpit. And come back. And we're gonna do the other side. So you're gonna take this right hand to your left ankle or shin. Keep solid in your feet and then peer beneath this left armpit up at the ceiling. And come back to center and look at the center of your mat. Bend your knees and step right up. And take your hands back, forward fold. Now take your hands to cup your calf muscles. Sit your rib cage right on your thigh bones, drop your head, and then begin straightening your legs any amount. Hands to hips, come on up to standing. Find your feet comfortably beneath you. Roll your shoulders back and allow your palms to shine forward. Lift your gaze here in mountain pose. Feel the energy of your body. You might feel a little shimmering feeling within. And we'll come into Utkatasana together. So bring your feet to touch at the top, a little gap between your heels. You're going to swing your arms up and sit your hips down. Rock back into your heels and dial your tailbone towards the earth. If you cannot see your toes when you look down, if your knees are covering your toes, slide the thigh bones back. That may make you need to redial the tailbone, and that's fine. And then you're gonna lift and open your arms and lift your gaze. Take your hands to your heart center and take your left elbow over your right thigh bone. Stay right here, turning your heart towards your thumbs, or open your arms in one great big line. Heart spinning to the side of your room. Come back to center, sit back on the heels again, and go to the other side. No scrunching in the toes if we can help it. Maybe make one big arm with your two arms, or maybe keep your hands at heart center and simply focus on spinning your heart over to the other side of the room. And come back to center and press on up to standing. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we explore and dive deep together. Inhale, we lift up halfway, and exhale, take a nice deep bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up. Exhale to your heart center. Close your eyes here in Samastiti. Sitting so still with that little stone, that warm, smooth, still stone. But being aware all around you, just being aware of what is. And softly open your eyes up into your room. And we're going to take a hold of our bricks. Put one behind each heel. When you're in wide-legged stance, get nice and wide here. Root down through the feet, lift up through the arms, and then let the arms fall open to the height of the shoulders, palms open to receive. Inhale. Exhale, turn the left toes out. Bend your knee, inchworm around your mat so that your left knee can stack over your ankle or heel. Expand with your arms, coming into the full expression of your physical body here in this warrior pose. This pose has two names, fearless warrior and peaceful warrior. Spin your palms over, gaze out across the top of your extended left hand, and bring to mind something you'd like to be fearless about. And hold that sense of fearlessness in your mind, your body, and your spirit for one full breath. And then inhale, lift up and straighten. And exhale, fearless warrior. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fearlessness. Inhale, lift. Exhale into fearlessness. And then we're going to sweep back into reverse warrior. Lift up and explore holding your wrist. If that's too intense, come back to the more traditional version. Otherwise, root down, pull back with the upper body, and maybe a gentle tug to the left arm, and explore lifting your gaze. As you exhale, come back to fearlessness and expand. Get really big, taking up lots of space here. Root down through the back edge of the back foot, and then hand to hip. Sweep your left hand open or to your brick or to your inner ankle. Get nice and long in the spine. Lift your gaze. Perhaps lift your gaze up across the room where the wall meets the ceiling. And just let your gaze rest there for a moment as you lengthen through your spine. Now explore pivoting the heart towards your ceiling, letting the head roll back just a little bit, And now take your right arm over your ear and extend through the whole right side of the body. If you're feeling rock solid in your connection to the earth, try taking the left hand up. Push into your feet, cartwheel up, exalted warrior as you lift, lengthen, and open. Exhale back into fearless warrior, expanding in your fearlessness. And then from here, we're gonna take this palm, flip it open, and let it come down the inner seam of your shin. Start by reaching the right arm really high, and then bend the elbow and bring the back of your hand to your low back curve. Pull the shoulder back and look skyward. Press into your feet, come on up, turn your toes. All 10 toes pointed forward. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we dive deep together. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up, and exhale to your heart center. Here we go, other side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, expand, letting things get big as we notice, right? Notice this expansion. There's a beautiful expression in yoga, inner body bright. And there is an expansive quality to that brightness and that sort of golden energy and warmth we find. So bend that right knee. And again, you might need to inchworm around to bring yourself into this place where you know we're going to be for a few breaths. Arms are lifted and expressing full length. Pivot the palms over. So now they're looking at the floor. And cast your gaze over the center of your right hand. Fearless warrior. Bring to mind something you would like to be fearless about and experience that fearlessness in mind, body, and spirit for a full round of breath. Back hand down, reverse warrior. Take your time here exploring. See what it feels like to pull your fingertips back as you make a crescent shape in your rib cage. Your right knee is bending deeply, and you can feel the back edge of your back foot firmly planted on your mat. If it feels okay in your shoulders, hold your right wrist, flipping your palm open, and pull back gently, maybe looking up at your ceiling. And then release back into fearless warrior and expand. Now, back hand to hip, right palm is either open on your brick or at your ankle. And again, rerouting the back edge of the back foot down, let the crown of the head gently tug to the side of your room so that it brings a little release in the spine. Explore slowly rolling your lungs and heart towards your ceiling, taking a big breath. Eventually, this left arm comes over the ear and the whole left side body stretches from the outer edge of the left foot up through the outer edge of your left hip, your left armpit, your left pinky finger. Now, if you're feeling connected and solid, maybe explore picking the right arm up. Expand. Now push into the sticky mat with your feet, cartwheel up, exalted warrior. Lift, lengthen, open to receive. Finding our way. Exhale back with fearlessness, practicing fearlessness here today. Now, spin your right palm open. You're going to slide your hand somewhere, low, high, medium, somewhere down this shin bone. And bend the top elbow. bring the back of your hand to your low back curve and roll the top shoulder back. Keep length in the spine and pivot your heart and gaze skyward, keeping your back leg strong and straight. Push into your feet, come on up, turn the toes. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we dive deep together. Inhale, lift halfway up, either hands to shins or to your mat. Take your tailbone back. You're gonna have toes that can completely lift off the mat. And you're gonna stretch the collarbones forward. Inhale, exhale, take a nice deep bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Lift your gaze in your hands and then bring everything back to heart center, closing your eyes. Coming back to this place of awareness. Maybe there's crashing waves, or maybe the ocean is perfectly still. Maybe there's just a gentle rocking. Just notice what's showing up. Let your hands come down, open your eyes, and bring your feet under your hips. Once more, just get the feeling of being completely connected through the soles of your feet to the earth, growing roots. We're going to take tree pose together. So take one foot as your balancing foot and leg to start with, and let your other foot come up anywhere on the inner edge of your leg bone, wherever feels right for you. It's fine to hold a fingertip on a chair if you'd like, or a wall as the body maps. When you're ready, you're going to grow great big branches, opening up, rooting down like a tree, rising up towards a limitless sky like a tree, and creating places for little creatures that need to seek refuge, creating space for that. And then hands to heart center. We'll do the other side. Root down through a foot, a leg. Kind of have a sense that you're rocking your weight into the core of that leg. It'll help prevent locking your knee joint. Some of us do that. I know, I remember. But comes anywhere on your leg. When you're ready, take your branches up towards the sky, rooting down, rising up, and again, feeling the energy of being firmly rooted to the earth and opening up to vastness and limitlessness, and creating and cultivating that and allowing space for any little creatures that need to come and to seek refuge in your branches. And hands to heart center, and eventually your foot comes down. Inhale, we lift up together, and exhale, we dive deep. While you're here, you can move your bricks out of the way, bend your knees, come back into plank pose. Inhale, plank, and exhale, lower. Separate your feet, hug your elbows in, and lift up into Bhujangasana. Inhale so fully. Exhale your way into downward facing dog, and take a nice deep breath. Inhale into plank, and exhale when you're ready, slowly lower. Inhale, lift yourself up into Bhujangasana, filling your lungs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take time for one deep, full cleansing breath. Inhale your way, eventually coming into full plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lift up, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And stay here. If you'd like to move a little bit, go ahead. If you'd like to take this pose into an energetic place right now in this moment, really drop your heels and take your strong, long arms as if you're pushing your heart back towards your knees as your head just hangs. And notice the energy of that. Pull the belly button up. Imagine you're able to push your hips back a little bit. Now, yogis, with your next exhale, take your gaze to the center of your mat. Bend your knees and hop right up to the center of your mat. Hands come back, head hangs. Hands to hips, press on up to standing. And we're going to come into warrior one together. So take your left foot forward, step your right foot back. Turn your toes halfway out, hands to hips. Inchworm around so you don't feel wobbly. Your back leg has plenty of room for full extension, and you can pull the left hip back and send the right hip forward. Inhale, lift your gaze and lift your hands. As you exhale, interlace your hands behind you in this variation of stargazer pose. Take the arms straight back, lift the gaze, lift the heart, let the head roll back. As you exhale, take a nice deep bow inside the left knee. Head down, arms up. Breathing slowly and deeply. Try not to scrunch in your toes. Now, yogis, press the heels, the outer edges of the feet, and come up nice and slow. Come back to your full expression of warrior one. And take a nice, deep, cleansing breath. And then following that, hands come to heart center and we do the other side. So step up with the right leg, step back with the left leg. Again, nice big stride, take a moment to fidget. We call that moving into stillness in yoga. So hands to hips. Make the back leg strong and straight. Pull the right hip back. Send the left hip forward. Allowing a nice lift of the rib cage, but a relaxation in the shoulders. Lift the arms. Exhale, really drop the shoulders. Inhale, lift the heart and the gaze. Feel your feet on your mat. The depths of the pose as we exhale to interlace our hands, diving deep. As you take your arms back, feel that beautiful opening through the heart and lungs, rolling the head back in stargazer pose. Right knee bends, left leg strengthens. With your next exhale, dive inside this right knee. Drop the head. Let the arms stretch skyward here in humble warrior. And then gently bring yourself on up and step on up. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, dive deep. Now stay here in your forward fold and walk your hands around to the right side of your feet or your shins. Let the head hang and pull the left hip back a little bit. And just notice what happens. Come to center, walk your hands over to the outside edge of your left foot. Head hangs, tug the right hip back a little bit. And come back to center. Pull the belly button up, hands to hips, and up to standing. Take a hold of one brick and hold the short end of it in your right hand. Starting at the center of your mat, take the left foot forward, step the right foot back, straighten your legs. Left hand to left hip, right arm reaches up. Get long here. You're going to bring the right hip forward, take the left hip back, and as you exhale, swing your brick or your hand if you're not using a brick. Swing it across midline and deposit your brick or hand at the inner or outer ankle. Get long in your spine. And then explore keeping the back heel down, but rotating the rib cage over to the left. You might find that eventually you're lifting your left arm and lifting your gaze. As you exhale, take this hand back to the hip, bend your left knee, step on up. We'll do the other side. So put the short end of the brick in your right hand, or left hand, right leg forward, left foot back, and then nice big stride here. Pull the right hip back, and with your connection to the earth, give a little shove of that left hip forward. And then inhale to lift your brick, and exhale, twist over the midline of your body and take your hand or your brick to your inner or outer right ankle. Get long in the spine. Just pause here to feel that shift from kind of curling in to stretching out. And then pivot the heart and lungs to the right side of your room and lift your arm up nice and high. Throat is open, gaze is lifted. And then hand to hip, bend your knee and come on up. Put the block aside for just a moment. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, dive deep. Step back into plank pose. Inhale and plank and down dog as you exhale. Inhale into plank and down dog on your exhale. Inhale into plank and down dog. As you exhale, a little bit of pedaling, moving the hips if you'd like. And then set your knees down on your mat. Walk your knees up towards your wrists, cross at your ankles, and come on over to seated. Take your brick, one of them if you're using one, put it up over where your head will be in Shavasana, and then bring your right ankle around by your left hip, or keep your right leg straight out in front of you. You're going to step your left foot across, 10 fingertips down, lift up to the center of your posture, and then you're going to take your right arm around your knee and take your left arm behind you. Lift up through the crown of your head, turn your chin towards your back shoulder. Pull the abdominal wall in as you lift. Close your eyes. Notice what's happening in your body. The beat of your heart, the pulsation of your lungs, perhaps inner body feeling bright and expansive. Pull the abdominal wall in, step the spine deeper into the core. Let the crown of the head feel gently tugged towards the sky. And then unwind yourself back to center, and we'll do the other side. So the left heel goes to the right hip, or the left leg is out very straight in front of you with a flexed ankle. Right foot steps across, press down, sit right in the center of your posture. Hug your knee with the left arm, swing your right arm behind you, find some length in the spine, and pivot your chin towards your back shoulder. Close your eyelids. Lips are very lightly touching each other. Breathing and noticing. Diving deep, feeling the body, the breath, the heart energy. Pull the abdominal wall in. Step your spine one step deeper into your core, and let the crown of the head your seventh chakra be pulled ever so gently skyward. Come back to center. Unravel slowly here. And take the soles of your feet to touch. Sitting up on the base of your hips, your pelvis, that bowl shape. Sit right up on top of that bowl shape. And then move your legs like butterfly wings. Letting yourself go flower to flower, from one flower to the other. Just gently gliding, transporting, and release. Now bring your left leg out nice and long and hug your right foot up towards the top of your thigh. If that's too intense, another variation you might check out is like more of a runner's stretch posture. This is called dragonfly, and it's the more traditional. Make adjustments as your body needs. Now, starting again from sitting up on the bowl of the pelvis and hips, you're gonna pivot so that your left shoulder is aligning with your left leg, and you're gonna really kind of push through the heel. Keep that pushing energy, palm opens. Slide down your leg. You could end up here, you could hold your foot, whatever feels right in your body. And then roll the top shoulder back, look skyward. If this feels like enough, just stay right here. If you want to add a second stretch, bring your right arm over. And just see if you can find your toes or let your arm go straight out. Whatever feels good to you. Take a nice deep inhale and a complete exhale. And then on your next inhale, come on up and we'll do the other side. So right leg goes out. You're going to give a little shove out the heel and keep that energy kind of pushing forward. And it's very grounding. Now the left foot can come up to the thigh or kind of do a runner's stretch approach, whatever your knee joint is happy with. And then you're going to turn so that your right shoulder begins to align with your right leg. And then palm open. Just slide it down wherever it kind of connects. You might end up just being on the shin bone. That's good too. Whatever the proportions of your body allow. Roll the shoulders back. Pivot your heart, your lungs, your gaze skyward. Stay right here or add another component for the left side of the body by reaching your arm over, either finding your toes here or simply just stretching and getting length. And after a full, slow cycle of breath, you're going to inhale your way up and come onto your back body slowly and gently. And pull the knees in, flex your ankles, roll your nose up towards your knees, lifting your shoulder blades off the mat. You give a nice little twirl of the ankles in one direction and then the other. Lay your head down, put your feet down, open up your arms in a comfortable way, little bend to the elbows probably, and let your knees fall to the right. Pause for a breath. Come back to center. Let the knees go to the right, or to the left, pardon me, to the left. And pause for a breath. Come back to center, take a nice big full body stretch, taking a hold of your brick, and then bend your knees, lift your hips, slide your brick beneath your hips. And once again, full body stretch, maybe interlacing your hands, pivoting your palms, maybe pointing your toes or flexing your ankles, whatever feels good to you, or simply relaxing the ankle joint altogether. And then rotate your hands along the sides of your body, palm open to receive, bend your knees, and lift your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Imagine there's a little waterfall that originates in the tips of your toes and washes through the feet, the ankles, the legs, everything rinsing away into the depths of the abdomen. Stay here just as long as you would like. Eventually you can, when the time feels right to you, put your feet down, lift your hips to remove your brick, and make your way into a nice, warm, comfortable spot. Being and breathing. Letting your awareness rest within and noticing everything. Maybe coming across things that you had not noticed before. Keeping your awareness inward. Consider all the pain and all the pleasure you have ever experienced as waves on a very deep ocean, which you are. From the depths, witness those waves rolling along so bravely, always changing, beautiful in their self-sustaining power. Marvel that once you identified with only the surface of this ocean. Now embrace waves, depths, undersea mountains, out to the farthest shore.
Gentle waves. Gentle waves of breath. Gentle waves of breath, receiving and releasing. Gentle waves of breath, receiving, releasing. The soft shore. The soft shore. Breathing the light, releasing the darkness. Breathing the darkness, releasing the light. relaxing, rising like a mountain. Your strong, graceful body like a mountain, while your mind continues. Your mind continues to return to your breath with no effort, with the ebb and the flow, gentle waves, soft shore. Your mind, body, spirit, resting, resting, and aware in the silence of this perfect breathing moment right now in silence for you and for us. Allowing every facet of your life to simply flow with breath, with a quieting mind and a resting body, your body resting, and a connecting spirit, however your experience or your faith, the love within your life defines spirit to you as we all connect right now, like the ocean and the soft shore, breathing, relaxing, and aware. The cooler on your face, the tactile warmth of your fingers and toes, the full sweep of your body from the crown of your head, right down to those toes, feeling the flow of the blood and the air and the spirit that you have integrated with discipline and joy this morning. This awareness, this being to carry forward in the next moment and the next with clarity, not the autopilot, not the demands of the self-critic or the noise of the world, rather the peacefulness of your beating heart, your profound spirit, gentle waves, soft shore, resting now, resting, yet slightly flowing. this mountain of your body right here on the earth, be it green or white with snow or gray. The earth, the solidity, yet the soft motion of the water flowing within and without the earth, the water, and the air, the sky, the blue, blue air, sky in you, part of you, and all life in all directions. On the wind, through the trees. The mountain of your being on the earth, pulsing and flowing with the water and rising with the air, breathing the oxygen, while that warm light of the sun, that fire of the sun keeps us alive. As our hearts and your heart keeps beating with a soft flame, igniting the pace of that engine of your heart. Here on the earth, by the water, rising with the sky and connecting and warming with the fires of winter. And allowing your mind to quiet and your body to rest and your spirit to connect with that peaceful and indefinable energy that may well be everlasting love. Soft light within your eyes, the sound of your breath, the fragrance of your being, the taste ignited by the tongue, the full sweep and embrace of feelings. No thinking there. And this energy rising right from the base, the core of your being, the base of your spine, the perineum, feeling that light and energy rising as you root down like this mountain you are, energy to your sacrum and orbiting out with the perfection of touch and creation. And rising right to that solar plexus, the living and learning and the strength of being yourself right there. Living there and swirling and rising throughout your whole body, but resting for a moment within the shores of your heart, within the ocean of your heart, within the fire, the indefinable grace of your heartbeat and heart's truth, with the strength and equanimity to take on all the world and all its sorrow and to propel the energy outward and inward with joyful effort and rising through your rib cage and lungs right up to your throat. And to know what speech is most purely defined by listening and empathy and the truth. And rising through that perfect face and skull of yours right to the third eye, the pineal gland. Scientists, mystics, you feel the light of intuition, and like that inner and outer lighthouse on any coast, Pacific, Atlantic, Baltic, Mediterranean, lighthouse on the coast, illuminating. So peacefully as the energy rises right out of that beautiful crown of your head, connecting spirit and energy as you know it to be. You are under the surface and within the flow right now. Even as your mind wants to reach to something defined, you can define it as how precious your life is, how precious your life is. And what you do makes such a difference with the gentle waves and the soft shore and the choices we make together in this, your precious life.
With your next inhale, bring your arms up overhead and keeping your awareness inward, take a nice full body stretch. And then get comfortable on your mat. Take the next breath or two, simply being and breathing. Bend your knees, roll to your right, and make your way up into a closed-eyed seated posture on your mat. And once you're seated upright, feel the energy of rooting down into the earth. And in equal measure, lifting your heart towards the sky. Bring your hands palm to palm in Anjali Mudra in front of your lifted open heart. And bring to mind the intention you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. Take a moment to consider your intention. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining in, sharing your yoga and meditation practice, co-creating this time together. The light in John and me shines on and honors the beautiful light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much.